Bluing steel with PC9. In this video, we're going to show you how to get a blue finish on steel, and we're going to do that first with using PC9. Now there's a lot of different ways we can go about doing this, and it's really up to you what you want the blue to look like overall. But the prep is usually the same. So we sanded with 180 grit. Now we're using the Sculpt Nouveau metal cleaner and a Scotch-Brite pad. And to use the PC9 to get a blue finish, we dilute it so it's 25% PC9 and 75% distilled water. And you got to move quick. So you'll see it starts turning blue here, and I immediately hit it with water. I mean, this is about 10-15 seconds, and we're putting water on it. And if I had done it quicker, it might be a little bit more pronounced. Overall, it's one of those things that you've got to do a few test samples and see how you want it to look. But since I sprayed it on, I can actually see those lines from the spray, and I'll show you here as we clear coat it. The blue will pop out a little bit more, but overall you can see the lines. So the next thing we're going to do is do a flow coat, and this is just the ClearGuard satin. We'll hold it up here so you can see what it actually looks like with the camera. You can see a good amount of blue came through, but not a huge amount. And again, it's one of those things you really got to play with and figure out what's going to work for you. You can see I had to rinse it much quicker when I did a flow coat. There's a much higher concentration of patina on the surface. And it looks from this angle that the blue's gone away, but it's still there. It's just a subtle way to go about it. And again, we're going with the ClearGuard satin here to seal it up. But it's one of those things that it's very difficult to do in this manner, and that's why we like to often go into the non-reactive finishes as well. But you can see the blue is much more pronounced once we got it into camera lighting. And here we're going to show you the spray on from down, and we got a little dribble there, but overall it'll give you the right look on this. And you can see it's a much thinner coat, so it's reacting much thinner and much slower. The more patina you have on there, the faster it will react. So we put a little bit more on there to get it a little bit more pronounced, and you can see that blue's pretty popped through, and we'll get some water on there. We'll get a good amount on there, and again, we got to neutralize the acid, and that's why we're using the water that stops the reaction. So we just continue to do a little wipe, make sure there's no chemical holding on. And this is more one of those good practice things, and our light kind of changed a little bit here in the studio, so the blue kind of looks like it went away. But once we dry it and put a clear coat on it, we'll see more of that blue come back out. So once we clear guarded this, then we can take a picture here, and this is what we have. And you can see that blue's a lot more pronounced again in the proper lighting. And here we're going to do another flow coat so you can see from the top down, but we're going to do a little extra step to it, because you can see we should have rinsed it a few seconds earlier, and this is where test samples really help. And the blue's just not as pronounced, so what we're going to use is the blue patina stain, and that will help kind of pop that blue up even more. So here we've dried and neutralized and everything, and now we're just going to go over with the blue patina stain. And how much you put on is up to you. You can even thin it a little bit more and spray it through an HVLP sprayer rather than doing our 3-to-1 here in the spray can. But overall, depending on how blue you want it, you can have that control. And this is a much more reliable way to get that popping blue. PC9 is available at www.sculptnouveau.com or by calling us at 760-432-8242.